I totally got cut off there. So this is kind of going to be part one is going to actually be two parts now. So where was I? Yeah, so kind of with the dog holes, as I was saying, I'll carry out a task again and again and again and again and again till it gets to the point where I'm like, right, I really, really need to, put a couple of dog holes there. I mean, the the thing going back to the notch, it would actually be good if you could do this with a notch, but you kind of can't. That's one of the bad things about the notch. And me personally, I don't feel that I've actually found the the sweet spots for the notch. I think I'm getting close to it. I definitely think that having the notch on the right side of the bench, obviously if I'm facing forward, so that I would be on the left hand side of the bench. So on the opposite side, which would be pointing like backwards of myself, I do believe that that's the right side. At least it is for me. I'm still undecided with obviously the location of it going along the length. I do kind of like 14 inches, but as I've said, I have had issues with the Sapel. I don't think I would have these issues with Ash or Beach. I haven't had that issue with the Oak. I think the Oak, I can't quite remember, the Oak might be round about the same. So as I said, I haven't had an issue with that. Okay, so last on the list is accessories. So when I built the oak bench, I kind of went out. What's the word I'm looking for here? I didn't go overboard with it, but I did kind of want to. I did want to add a few things to it. What I added to it, one of the major big things to it was a shave horse. So the reason I added a shave horse was kind of for necessity, if you like. Um, Obviously, it is quite common for me to make conical tenons. So if you are making a conical tenon, at least the way I make them, is I'll probably use a drawer knife, spoke shave, and a tenon cutter. So obviously, if I'm using the spoke shave and the drawer knife, it makes sense for us to have the a shave horse in place. So rather than make a shave horse, I've kind of got the footprint of a shave horse. So just kind of add the vice section in the bed, which made a lot of sense to me. Um, as well, I like to make chairs, although I don't get to make them often, but I do have the need to make some chairs in the very near future, which obviously I've known about for a long time. And I do enjoy making chairs. I've still got a number of chairs I want to make just for making sake. As I said, I enjoy making them, so it made perfect sense for me to add a shave horse on, or a shave horse attachment. So the thing is, like, do you actually need to have the shave horse attachment? You kind of should be asking yourself that. Obviously, there's plans for all the bench and the shave horse attachment in my free ebook. As I said before, there's links all over the place. Click on it and read it. So do you need it? Do you really plan on like doing some chair work, or some green woodworking? It really depends. I mean, if you don't plan on doing it, I don't really see the point of you kind of making it, really, unless you really kind of just want to do it for the exercise of doing it, which of course that's up to yourself. But it's that by adding that shave horse, that potentially could be costing you a little bit extra material. So you kind of got to weigh the pros and cons with it. But I'm very happy that I've done the shave horse attachment. I'm over the moon with it. I've used it numerous times, and any new bench that I do that I'm going to be taking away with us when I'm travelling, it will be getting a shave horse attachment put on it. That's without questions going to happen. So one of the other things I was kind of messing around with at the time I built the oak bench, I was kind of messing around with the idea of a notch accessory. While I did have the idea in my head, and I kind of had a rough design in my head, I didn't build it at the time. But I would highly recommend that you make, if you're going to make a low bench and you're going to put a notch in, I would highly recommend that you do the notch accessory as well. The notch accessory, it makes life a lot easier for certain tasks. It's such a simple thing to make. It's like two pieces of wood glued together, a few holes in it, and some curves at the top of it, just so you're not, clashing into sharp or square edges, if you're using chisels or whatever. This still has like a lot of evolving to do. I haven't really took the time to kind of, mess around with the designs, but I have actually posted, I think I've done like a couple of short videos on YouTube. I actually think I've done maybe a bit of a feature length one. I say a feature length one, maybe one about 10 to 15 minutes on the notch accessory, some of its uses. As I said, it's a simple L shape, but it's really handy. I mean, it has got a lot of potential for other things. I was actually thinking about kind of turning it into a bit of a moxon vise as well. It has got that potential. I don't know what I'm going to do. I possibly might, because obviously I do get people that ask about vices on the Roman the low bench, the Roman workbench. So my stance on vices, I actually like vices. I love vices. Vices are really good. I don't really see the need for them too much on a Roman workbench, because you've got the peg and wedge system. So I really don't think I don't think they're a must. Although I will say that some sort of a moxon vise would probably come in really handy for cutting dovetails. And what I've done in the past, I've actually used a toolbox with a bit of weight in it, some tools in it obviously, and I've actually just got a piece of the piece I've been working on, and I've just clamped it to the toolbox, and that's kind of been like a bit of a makeshift moxon vise. So I think if you could use the notch accessory, which it's very doable. I've kind of messed around with a few designs in my head, so I don't know when it's going to be, but I'm probably going to redesign the notch accessory. But I mean, the notch accessory as it is, it's kind of, I would recommend you making one. If you've got a Roman workbench or you're planning on making a Roman workbench, 110%. Have a look on my Instagram, or have a look on YouTube, and see what you can do with the notch accessory. It's as I said, it's super simple to make, but it opens up a lot of avenues to you. So I would really recommend that. I think that's pretty. I've covered pretty like a lot, in these kind of two episodes that are going to be like put out as one episode. They are going to have to. I am going to have to obviously play the two of them separately. I really need to. What's the word I'm looking for? Upgrade me program that I've got to give us more time. So I'm gonna have to look into that. I don't normally go over my time, but I did this time. So as I said at the start of the podcast, next week I am planning on posting the part 2 of this podcast, which is going to be me thoughts and like me opinions on tall benches. This is today was kind of the thought process of like how I would go through something, to design a bench. This is my thought process, what I would do, and this is, for the people that have asked us questions, this is kind of how I like answer people. So I do occasionally still get questions, so hopefully this podcast helps anyone that's planning on making a build, anything like that. So as I said, next week it's going to be all about tall benches, and it's going to be my thoughts and opinions and what I would do on tall benches. So again, thank you very much for listening. Thanks very much for all the new likes and new followers on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. And until the next time, I shall speak to you guys later.